OSPF virtual links, scenario 1. So there's two scenarios where you can use virtual links. One is linking an area that does not have a physical connection to the backbone. And I have a topology here that shows exactly like that. So R1 is connected, it R1 belongs to area 0 and it also belongs to area 1, and R2 belongs to or has an interface in area 1 and it has an interface in area 2, and R3 is just in area 2. So here we see that area 2 is not directly or physically, I mean, yeah, not directly connected to area 0. We know that all of the areas must be directly connected to area 0. So in this scenario, we can actually use a virtual link to create a virtual link between R1 and R2. And area 1 will be our transit area. Yep, I'm going to show, of course, I'm going to show the how we can configure it a little later. But let me just read the other scenario where we can use uh, a virtual link. So number 2 is patching the backbone in case discontinuity of area 0 occurs. I'm actually going to make a video, a separate video for this one, but it's basically saying that, let's say you have this scenario here, that you have, uh, this scenario where there is, when your area zeros are not directly connected to each other. So that's what basically what scenario 2 is saying here. Let me just make that area 2 again. All right, so let me just show you the configurations. We see that R1 has a neighborship with R2. This is R2. You can see, we can verify that R1. Yeah, we can verify that here. R1 is using this neighbor ID or router ID, and this is the address here. And of course, this is the OSPF configurations. And R2, it has a neighborship with R1 and R3. Here, this is R3. And R3 has a neighborship with R2. And of course, that's the OSPF configuration. Let me actually show you the OSPF database, because we still see the TNA here. I think we should, because I was actually trying this myself. Let me clear the process, the OSPF process. Yes. Let me do it on R2 as well. OSPF there. OSPF database. How come it's not working? Clearing or resetting the OSPF process is not working. That's kind of weird. Let me actually just trying to just shut down the interface and shut it again, so that the OSPF neighborship will go down, and no shut it. OSPF neighbor. Yeah, we see that OSPF is trying to get established. Okay, it's now established. Okay, let's check the OSPF database again. Huh, okay, that could be a bug or something because we don't have a virtual link connection here, but I still see this here, which is a virtual link connection that I did earlier. But I think that's fine. We can see that no virtual link, right? By making that I mean by issuing that command. And of course, our transfer area is between, I mean, it's R1, and the ABR will be R1 and R2. ABRs R1 and R2. Okay, I think that's fine. We can still, configure the a virtual link between um, R1 and R2, which is the ABRs that are connected to the transit area. So, like I said, transit area is R1. I mean, area 1. So, yeah, I have prepared the configurations here. I'm just going to copy and paste it. So, this is R1 and this is R2. And we should see a message here that says it's here. So this is R2. On OSPF virtual link 1, okay, so our virtual link connection is, I mean, our OSPF adjacency via virtual link has gone to full. And we can verify that by issuing this command here. Here. So this is router 2. And we can also verify that on R2. You see the similar message here. Yeah. So this is the virtual link. I mean the neighborship connection on virtual link. And of course, like I showed you earlier, we can still use this. I mean, we can also use this command that says um, it is up. Virtual link OSPF1 is up. So this is R1. And of course, this is R2. And we can see that, this, it says here, run as demand circuit here. And do not age SLA is allowed. This is what we saw earlier in the database table here. And going to, actually, let me clear the screen. So we see that in the database, OSPF database, we see that, let me show you the topology. We see that this connection is directly connected to area 0. And I can tell that because it is a router LSA. So router LSA are the LSAs. Router LSAs are the LSAs that are directly connected to an area, right? In this case, area 0. And we can also see the same. We should also see the same on R2 here. So we see that R2 is physically is not connected to area 0, but we see that this link ID, which is the uh, interface, I mean the IP address configured on the loopback 0 on R1 is directly uh, is a router LSA, which is a link ID that is directly connected to area 0 in this case. Okay, I think that is all. I mean, we can use this command to verify the router ID, or yeah, router ID. This is router ID of R2, and this, of course, router ID. Oops, router ID of R1. So yeah, that's how That's one scenario where you can use a virtual link to get your area, in this case area 2, connected to virtually connected to area 0. And again, you have to use the here in the configuration, you have to use the transit area, in this case area 1, and then the router ID of the ABR on the other end. So R1, the ABR on the other end is R2, and from R2 the router ID of the ABR on the other end is this one. This one. All right, that's all in this video. Thanks for watching.